we have to buy groceries for our family. We have to feed our families. So until they see a drop off in spending, until the grocery stores see that we're going to be spending less because prices are more expensive, they're going to continue to raise prices because they can.
Hi, this is Monica Packer, and you're listening to About Progress, where we are about progress made practical. In 2023, I noticed that my grocery bill was getting higher and higher and higher. And I began to take my frugal nature to the next level and do everything I could to save as much money as we could. And disappointingly, that turned out to be very, very little. My strategies were helpful, but not to the extent where we were actually seeing it in our bank account. And this is when I fell across my friend Rachel Coons' account on Instagram and what she had to teach about practical ways to save money on groceries. I interviewed Rachel for the podcast, and since I interviewed her a few months before I aired it, I got to practice what she taught. And the savings we experienced were not only undeniable, they were honestly dramatic. That's why I'm so thrilled to share that interview with you again today. It aired in 2024. I don't normally do encore episodes of something that aired so recent, but I still think it's such a timely topic because the prices haven't really gone anywhere. I mean, eggs have gotten worse and then they get better and then things get worse again. So if you are in that same boat and you are eager to really have practical and doable ways to dramatically save on your groceries, this is an episode worth listening to and returning to if you listened to in the past. Just a quick heads up. While I was in the midst of trying to work on my groceries, on my Instagram stories, I shared my honest receipts, where I would take a picture of my receipt next to my groceries and share how I was doing with my budget and what was helping or not. And that became such a popular series. It's always the one that I get the most DMs about, that I turned it into a free guide for you that combines the tips that I was doing on my own with the ones that I got from Rachel that really tipped me over that tipping point. And with her permission, I'm going to share that with you very soon. So stay tuned. If you are on my newsletter or you follow me on Instagram, you should be seeing a free way to get that guide, and we'll have it on the website soon too. Before we share the interview, let's take a quick break for our sponsors. This podcast is sponsored by Go Pure Beauty. You may already know this about me, but I love skincare. I have been so hyper diligent about taking care of my face since my early 20s, thanks to a great dermatologist I happened to visit at the time. But guess what I forgot about for most of those years? My neck. Did you forget too? The skin on your neck is thinner, more delicate, and less oily than facial skin, so it requires special care. That's why Go Pure Beauty developed their revolutionary Tighten and Lift Neck Cream. Powered by clinically proven active ingredients, this advanced formula is designed to visibly firm, smooth, and rejuvenate the delicate skin on your neck and chest in as little as 4 to 8 weeks. I've been using the Tighten and Lift Neck Cream, and I've been loving it. The silky texture is so nice. My very sensitive skin has responded to it very well, and that's thanks to it being paraben and sulfate-free and made without harsh chemicals. For a limited time, our listeners get 25% off Go Pure with code PROGRESS at checkout. And Go Pure isn't just about your neck. They have a full line of science-backed skin and body care to brighten, hydrate, and restore your glow from head to toe. From powerful vitamin C serums to deeply hydrating retinol moisturizers, every product is packed with clean, effective ingredients that deliver real results. With over 1 million jars sold, this beauty secret is no longer a secret. For a limited time, our listeners get 25% off Go Pure with code PROGRESS at checkout. Just head to gopurebeauty.com/progress, use code PROGRESS, and you're all set. And after you buy, do us a favor. When they ask where you heard about Go Pure, tell them it was from our show. You know, one of my giant soapboxes is the vital importance of women taking time for themselves outside of their responsibilities. While this is best practiced on the daily, sometimes we have to do something big to reconnect with ourselves. So, what if you did that, but for a full week and with me in Rome, Italy? I am so honored to be hosting a female foodie signature tour to Rome for just the About Progress community in the fall of 2026. Of course, this trip will be full of amazing food, accommodations, and sightseeing. But it will also reflect what women say they take the most from these trips: a deep renewal and reconnection back to themselves. This trip will be my first time back to Italy in over 14 years, a place I've described as life changing the 2 times I've visited and returned, feeling restored and inspired, and I'm just going to say it because it's true, healed. I know this opportunity will be no different for you. Tickets go on sale this September to the waitlist only and are booked in groups of 2 or more. So get a friend or 5, check out the details, and get on that waitlist by going to aboutprogress.com/Italy. Female foodie tours sell out in literal minutes, so it's really important that you get on that waitlist. Again, to do so, go to aboutprogress.com/Italy. Rachel Coons, welcome to About Progress.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
I have to tell you, I have been very eager to have this conversation because my Instagram community knows that I have been sharing my honest receipts of how much groceries are costing us. And part of it is because I just want to commiserate with people and relate with people. But the other part is because I am desperate to figure out how to manage my grocery costs. So let's just start with where everyone is at with this. Like, is it just us, or have grocery prices skyrocketed, especially the last year?
Oh, you're 100% correct. I mean, I would say that we've seen an upward trend. It's 2020 set for the past
Yeah.
4 years, and
Mhm.
it's just continually going up and up, and it hasn't felt like it's stabilized. Like, most things have kinda
Yeah.
stabilized, but groceries continue to grow, and it's like 40 to 50% we're paying more in groceries than we were on specific items than we were in
Yeah.
2019.
And that adds up so quickly. And I think it also
Mhm.
adds up for us because our kids are getting older and eating more. So we already
Mhm.
need to buy more food. So I think a lot of people are in that same position. Do you have any idea why that's happening? I think there's a lot of economics behind it. I don't expect you to give us a full PhD thesis on it, but because this is your world, what do you know about why this is happening?
I honestly think, first off, I think inflation just as an economy, right? Where everything is more expensive than it was. I also think that if people will buy it, if the demand is there, then they
Mm,
can continue to increase prices. And we have to buy groceries for our family. We have to feed our families. So until they see a drop off in spending, until the grocery stores see that we're going to be spending less because prices are more expensive, they're going to continue to raise prices because they can.
well, I think that's supported by, the legit macro, micro economics out there that I will not even try to pretend that I remember from college. So, this is when I want to ask you if this has always been something you've been into. Like, have you been always passionate about saving money on your groceries, or is this more of a
For years and years.
2020 to 2024 thing?
No, I always say that, like, this world chose me. I did not choose
Huh.
this world. And I don't know if I would even have a leg to stand on in 2019, right?
Yeah.
It was really because this has become such a problem, and I've always been a frugal person. I've always been just naturally, I don't want to spend a bunch of money, but it wasn't until this became something that I really wanted to focus on, and I saw the benefit of focusing specifically on groceries when it came to our financial stability and what it could do for our family, and I started sharing it with my Instagram following, and it just, like, lit fire, right? It
Mm.
was something that people are now stressed about, and they're overwhelmed with how much they're spending on groceries, and so it was kind of the time that this happened that I was able to help so many people, and so it just kind of has continued to evolve from there, and I kind of just was like, "I think this is what I need to do. I think I just need to, like, lean into this and help as many people as possible."
Mhm. And for you, did your ability to figure out how to save money, how did you do that? Because I feel like my current method of just trying a different store every week, isn't working.
Yeah.
So how did you go about
Yeah,
figuring it
so
out?
it was a refining process, right? So it was in 2020, my family, we were spending $1,200 a month for my family of 6, which isn't that's not crazy. Most people see that and they're like, "Oh, that's normal." But when I looked at our grocery spending, that was one of the highest amounts we were spending every month was in our grocery
Yeah.
budget. And there wasn't a lot of budgets that I could significantly decrease. It was like,
Mhm.
rent and kids' activities and gas and car payments and whatever, all of those things. But groceries was an area that I thought that $1,200 is a lot of money and I think I can do something about that. And so I just started trying different things. And like you said earlier, like I tried the couponing thing. It felt like it was too much time and energy. And I'm kind of one of those people that's like, I just want to be as efficient as possible.
Mhm.
And so couponing didn't feel efficient to me. And cooking everything from scratch didn't feel efficient. So I just slowly started trying new things. And then it was awesome because I was able to share what I was trying with my audience.
Yeah.
And and then I got feedback, like tangible feedback from people who were like, "Oh, I just started 2-week grocery shopping too, and I cut my spending by $500 or whatever it was." So I was able to take all of these things that I was trying and sharing and create a condensed method that then could help as many people as possible. Because I realized that as I was saving all this money, I was able to cut our grocery spending by $500 a month,
Wow.
which is insane, right? That's $6,000 a year. And if I wanted to help people do this too, I realized I couldn't just teach people tips.
Mhm.
Tips aren't how people actually make change. It was like I need a like start to finish A to Z method that I could package up and say, this is if you do this, you can save money. And so that's where I created the shop method. And that wasn't born until late 2022, early 2023, where that was created. And it was like, here's your plug and play system.
Ooh, okay. So we're gonna get to more of the differences between tips and the plug and play, kind of method. I'm glad to hear you're not making your own mozzarella cheese, because that's,
Yes.
I mean, like,
No,
another
no,
thing.
I've
Just
never done that before in my life, actually.
yeah, okay, nice to hear, although I'm curious about trying it, but let's give them some, uh, tangible ways that they can save big, and I almost said tips, but then I hesitated, and I'm sure you
Okay.
saw that because I was like, "Wait, not tips, but maybe yes, tips." I think what we're gonna say here is we're gonna do more of a high level, like, things you can implement now, but for deeper and even bigger or perhaps long-standing, more sustainable change, that's where your method comes into play. Would you say that's accurate? What's the
Absolutely,
difference?
yes.
Okay.
Okay, totally. Totally. I
So
would say like a tip is like, you know, freeze your bread or,
oh,
those kinds
got
of things.
it.
This is like an overarching, what can I do differently when it comes to groceries? How can I change the way I approach this
Okay.
that can then save me money? So,
So that
yes.
means we can do that right here,
Yes,
right
we
now.
can,
Okay,
yes.
great. Let's do it. I'm so excited. Please tell me, what are some real and practical ways people can save big on their groceries?
Okay, so there's a lot of different levers that we can pull. And what I like to do is focus on the biggest ones first. Right? Where can we make the biggest impact? So the first one is shopping less. So not shopping
Okay.
too often. The second one would be to decrease your food waste. And then the third one would be everyone's going to hate me for this, but it would be meal planning. But we'll talk about it. I'm going to make meal planning not seem quite as terrible.
Okay.
So, first one, shopping less. Now, this in and of itself, people are like, why does shopping less mean I spend less? Like, how is
Mhm.
that interconnected? Well, the truth is, if you're going to the grocery store every couple days, maybe you're only going for one or two items. How many times do you walk into the store for butter or eggs or whatever it is, and you walk out and you just spent $50? You come home, you unload your groceries. 2 days later, your kids have eaten everything that you bought, and then you have to go back to the grocery store and you have to do it again. So we need to take out those one or two grocery trips that you're taking just for the simple items and plan better. And that means that when you go to the grocery store, before you ever even think about going to the grocery store, you're creating a list. You're figuring out what you need. You know what your family needs to have on hand. And you're spacing out those grocery trips. So that way, and you'll hear me say this a lot, but that makes those grocery trips more intentional. And I really focus on intentionality when it comes to saving money on groceries. The more intentional we can be with our budget, with our spending, with our trips, the better off we're going to be. So spacing out your trips, at the time when I was spending $1,200 a month, I was shopping once a week. And I thought that was really awesome. Then I realized I could shop twice a month. So I shop every 2 weeks, and my students who shop twice a month can easily drop their spending hundreds of dollars a month just by doing that.
Okay. So we start there. We just start by shopping less. But in order to do that, I almost feel like that's going to skip to number 3, right? Like in order to actually make those intentional shopping trips that work for you so you aren't completely out of food in 3 days, you've got to plan ahead. So can you tell us more about meal planning? Is it okay if we hop to that and then we'll come back to
Yes.
decreasing food waste?
Yes. Okay, so I would say before you even have to meal plan, before we even need to go there,
Okay.
it's something called an essentials list. So you may not even know this might just be in your head and you haven't even realized it's there. But an essentials list is everything that you need to have in your house to stay out of the grocery store. The essential items. And my essentials list is going to be different than yours, Monica, and it's going to be different than your listeners. You have to figure out what that is for your family. But, some of the basics would be like bread, butter, eggs, milk, cheese, those kinds of things. Those essential items that are what is forcing you to go to the grocery store
Hmm.
when you end up going? And making sure that whatever is on that essentials list, when you go to the grocery store, you're making sure that you stock up on those items and you have those in your fridge at all times. You don't want to run out of those essential items. Flour, sugar, brown sugar, those kinds of things are also on your essentials list. I also like to keep my breakfast and lunch ingredients on that list, and then 2 or 3 dinners planned on that list. So that way, if all else fails, I don't have to go to the grocery store for a week because I have everything in that essentials list. So that essentials list is going to be what I would focus on first before meal planning. And working from that essentials list is going to help you stay out of the store. And then when we talk about meal planning, instantly people's eyes glaze over, right? Nobody likes meal planning. Meal
Uh-huh.
planning is not fun. And if you ask me, I actually hate meal planning. I don't enjoy it. So that's why I only do it twice a month. And I've
Mm.
really tried to simplify that process. So making it really, really simple. We eat very similar breakfast and lunch every day. So I never have to meal plan breakfast and lunch. Dinner is 4 meals a week. That's all I meal plan for. And, obviously, we have resources inside my membership that helps you meal plan, but basically, all you need is 10 meals that your family likes to eat, right? 10 meals that are easy for you, your kids are gonna eat it when you make it. You have that list of 10 meals and you just shuffle through. You don't have to reinvent the wheel when it comes to creating dinners. It can be really basic and really simple. And that's one of the things that I really focus on with meal planning because we all have so much on our plates as moms, right? We have to do the laundry, we have to clean, we have to get our kids to their activities. We got, there's so many
Yeah.
things. And if there's something that's hard, takes a lot of energy, makes our brains work, and it's optional, it's not necessary, it falls to the bottom of the list. And that's usually what happens with meal planning. So, what I like to do is let's figure out why meal planning is so important, saving money, also saving time, lowering
Yeah.
your stress, and hopefully that meal planning will just get higher up on your list of priorities just by seeing how easy it can be and how helpful it can be.
So when
Yes.
you say you do 4 meals, when you plan 4 meals like a week, are you eating leftovers those other nights or do you reserve a night to eat out? What does that look like?
Good question. So the reason we do 4 meals a week, and this is kind of our sweet spot. Again, everybody has to find their sweet spot, but I find that if families are meal planning 7 meals a week, they're probably overbuying. You're probably buying too much food. So this is what it looks like. 4 meals I plan for and buy for. The one meal, one night a week, we do a leftover night just to make sure we're using up what we have on hand. One night a week, we do a shop the shelf night. So this is a night that I am not planning for. I don't buy any ingredients for, and how much food do we have on hand? We have so much food always. So that just makes me get creative and use up what's in the freezer, what's in the fridge, those
Got
perishable
it.
items. So shop the shelf night. And then one night a week is a date night. So I'm off. Brad and I go out to dinner. There's a babysitter that comes. They eat mac and cheese or chicken nuggets or whatever it is. And if you don't want to do a date night, just have a night off, right? Give
Yeah.
yourself a break. You don't, this is something that can really tire us. And so I look forward to that night off every week. It's the night I look forward to.
Me too. I look forward to that so much. I think two things that really helps with that you just pointed out is doing it twice a month feels more
Totally.
doable. And the other part that feels more doable is not looking through all the recipe books and recipe apps, although you can do that if that's your thing and that's where you get a
Yeah.
lot of joy, or it's just, something you do occasionally to add to your recipe stock. But having those go-to meals that you can just say, I know how to make these things. I don't even need a recipe, or I already know where the recipe is and I can just pull from there. I actually would love some specifics if that's okay. Like, I
Yes.
want to know what your usual breakfasts and lunches are. And I would
Mhm.
love to know, you talked about having on your essentials list items that can help you make 3 meals, no matter what. Like, we always have frozen chicken, so we can always bake some chicken, or we always have rice in the pantry, like those kinds of things. Um, so can you give us some specifics there? I think they'd love
Yeah,
to hear.
absolutely. Okay, so for breakfast, it's like 4 meals. We do waffles, we do eggs and toast. We probably do eggs and toast 50% of the mornings because it's protein, it's healthy, my kids love it. We'll do Greek yogurt parfaits with like fresh fruit and granola. And then we'll do smoothies and toast, like a protein smoothie and toast. Like that's it. Those are the 4 options. Sometimes we'll throw in some fun, different things on the weekends, but on a school day, those are the options. Super simple. I always have ingredients for all of those meals on hand all the time.
Mhm. And that's
Then
cheaper
for
than cereal?
a
I'm saying that
100%.
okay.
Yes, yes. Well, and okay, not only so this is like side tangent. A lot of the pushback that I'll get from people is I can't eat healthy on a budget. I can't save money if I want to eat healthy. And first off, I just don't think that's true. And second, how sustainable is cereal for breakfast, right? It's high in carbs, it's high in sugar most of the time. But if we're feeding our children high protein, it's a well rounded meal with fats, with carbs, with protein, they're going to be fuller for longer. And so you ends up spending less money in the long run when you eat those healthy whole foods. So, yes,
And
I
I
think
can
it
vouch
is
for
a
that.
lot
I
more.
just have to say, yeah, vouch for that because that's why we make breakfast, and it's because they actually get fuller and it saves money. But it's nice to hear that you can confirm it is cheaper than cereal.
I think so. I mean, I think like $7 a box for cereal, that's
I know.
crazy.
Yeah, it's a lot now.
Yeah, no, I think eggs are really affordable source of protein. So I really love feeding my kids eggs and it has, the good fats from the yolk and it's a very well-rounded meal. And then for lunch is a little bit trickier because my kids are at school for that, and, we live in California, so they do get lunch from school. My daughter likes to pack a lunch. She usually just does, like, some fruit, some crackers, and a sandwich. That's what she packs for lunch most days. For me, I'll make, like, an egg white sandwich or a salad with whatever I have in hand or leftovers, like that's a perfect time for me to eat leftovers. I'm kind of more flexible with lunch because I'm just home with my 3-year-old, but I do like to eat leftovers. I tend to eat a lot of eggs. So I'll do eggs because it's an easy, quick protein. If I have rotisserie chicken on hand, I'll make like grilled cheese or whatever. So that's for lunch. And then for dinner, some of the ingredients that I always have on hand, right? That's what you were asking.
Yeah.
I think. So, first off, I always make sure that I have vegetables. We always have vegetables on hand, but I always have the basic vegetables like broccoli, onions, carrots, so I can make a stir fry. That's like one of my favorite go-tos.
And are
My
those
kids
fresh
like
or
it
frozen?
fresh. Yeah. I mean, I have frozen too, but most of the time it's fresh. So I love stir fry because I just do chicken with teriyaki sauce and rice, and my kids love it, and they'll eat the broccolis and carrots, whatever. So stir fry is one of our favorites. We also love spaghetti and meatballs in the Instant Pot.
Yes.
It's the easiest meal ever. Like you literally dump 4 ingredients into an Instant Pot. You set it on for 8 minutes and it's made. I
Amazing.
love it. My kids love it too. And then we also love chicken fried rice. So again, just a basic rice, whatever veggies I have on hand, chicken, very simple. And then another one we love is tacos. We have tacos probably once every 2 weeks because it's just so easy and my family loves it.
Thank you so much for sharing those specifics. I'm like still drumming with all these questions. I feel like the two that are top of mind are what about snacks? Because I think that can be, big source of consumption and also money.
Yeah, so snacks tend to be a huge budget buster,
Mhm.
because it's really easy to focus on the convenience of snacks, so we're purchasing, like, the prepackaged snacks or whatever it is. So this goes back to, like, my health and wellness experience with food and trying to eat as healthy as possible, and also raising children. I actually hate snacks. I find that if my kids are eating snacks, they're not eating their meals. And so we absolutely they need to eat a snack in between meals. I'm not like starving my children, but I'm very organized when it comes to the snack process. So when they get home from school, they get to have a snack, but the kitchen closes at 4 o'clock because I want them hungry. They're going to eat healthier, right? Because they're going to eat a more well balanced meal at dinner time and it's gonna be way more cost effective. Meals are cheaper than snacks, but that doesn't mean we don't have snack foods on hand. I just focus our snacks heavily around whole foods, and we don't do a lot of processed. So, like string cheese and fruit or a smoothie or toast, Greek yogurt, those kinds of things, which are super quick, easy, and convenient, but they just require a little bit more forethought than just grabbing a bag of goldfish at the pantry. Those snacks are great for grab and goes, if you're eating it out of the house, but in the house, I do require a little bit more and I'm happy to do that for my kids. I don't make my kids do that, but I will cook up something really fast for them.
Got it. One of the things I didn't know I would need, but now can't live without, is purified air in our home. We are happy customers of Air Doctor, the award winning air purifier that eliminates 99.99% of dangerous contaminants like allergens, viruses, smoke, gases, mold spores, and more. Startling fact for you: the indoor air we breathe can be up to 100 times more polluted than outdoor air, a fact that we could not ignore as a family, with a child who has pretty bad indoor allergies. Our doctor was very happy to hear that we already had an air purifier in our home. Unlike other purifiers, Air Doctor captures invisible particles 100 times smaller than standard HEPA filters, which is a big relief to my mama heart. To get the air purifier I can't live without, head to airdoctorpro.com and use promo code MONICA to get up to $300 off today. Air Doctor comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee, plus a 3-year warranty, and $84 value free. Get this exclusive podcast-only offer now at airdoctorpro.com, airdoctorpro.com, using promo code MONICA. As you've likely heard, this year I am writing a book on flexible habit formation for busy women. I've had some very exciting developments lately on the book front, from getting a literary agent and my first offer from a traditional publisher. This book is officially going to happen, but the thing is, I can't do it alone. I need a committee of gal pals, if you will, like you, who are ready to be my early test readers, to pre-order the book, and to act as grassroots publicists the moment each of those steps are made ready. Would you like to be on that book launch committee? And as part of it, get the latest updates on where I'm at, including sneak peeks at the title, cover, and more. Get on the list by going to aboutprogress.com/book-committee. It's free and the link is in the show notes for you. I can't wait to share as much as I can with you along the way, and I am so eager to get this book out into the world and in your hands. Again, to get all the behind the scenes about the book and to help with its release, go to aboutprogress.com/book-committee. Okay, and the other big question I think is just produce. We have some kids that are big produce lovers, and two of them happen to be very picky eaters otherwise. So like, it's actually a good source of food for them to eat, but it will go bad except apples. Apples are great, but they stay fresher longer, carrots, stuff like that. But what would you say for the people who are a bit concerned about having enough of the fresh foods to last for 2 weeks, or if you have another thing that they can think of instead that will still help with that?
Yeah, so the 2-week grocery shopping, that's the number one thing people say is, "I'm not gonna be able to have my fresh produce that I need on hand." And the truth is there's a lot of produce that won't last 2 weeks, and I have to acknowledge that. Berries, they won't even last a
Yeah.
stinking week in the fridge.
Mhm.
But there is a lot of produce items that will last 2 weeks. And so what I focus on is making sure that I have a lot of those produce items that will last. So, like oranges, apples, we also use our freezer a lot for fruit. So we always have, like, frozen raspberries, frozen blueberries, frozen bananas in the freezer. And then if you're one of those people and maybe, everyone's different, right? Everyone has different needs, different things that they're
Yeah.
dealing with in their family. And if you have a child who only wants to eat fresh blueberries, then go ahead and meal plan for 2 weeks at a time. Do your bulk grocery order. And then on that second week, just do a produce run.
Mhm.
Just get the produce. Either if you're shopping in store, you're only heading to like the produce aisles, or if you're shopping online, just get the produce you need. This is not an all or none type of thinking,
Yeah.
right? We can kind of find the gray area in this. And so it's not going to ruin you if you have to go get produce in between grocery runs.
I so appreciate that flexibility because as someone who typically loves prescriptions, but they don't actually pan out in real life a lot, that's really helpful to say, like, okay, take what's going to work for you and your family from what you hear today. And if it doesn't, that doesn't mean you just throw it all away. It's find another way to help in ways that are still manageable but intentional, like we've talked about. These have been such great tips. I
Totally.
want to go back to your food waste lever,
Oh,
like you talked about. So tell us more about
yeah.
food waste.
So, just to start that off, and I think this is a really startling statistic, the average American family wastes 30% of the food that they buy.
Hmm.
That means that if you go to the grocery store, you spend $100 on your way out, you literally could just throw a bag away in the trash because that's what we're doing. And beyond the like sustainability and, eco problems with that, when you throw food away, that's food waste, that's perishables that have gone bad or leftovers or whatever is that's exactly money waste. We're
Mm.
throwing away food. And so that is a little bit daunting, but also on the other hand of that, when we can decrease or eliminate food waste altogether, we can decrease spending by 30% because that's what we're doing with the food waste. The food waste is perishable items. It's not our shelf stable canned goods. It's mainly the things like the produce, the dairy, the carbs or breads or whatever that we have. So, in order to decrease food waste, there's a lot of things that we can do. But first off, just by listening to this podcast and being conscious to this issue, you're now going to kick yourself when that bag of spinach goes bad in the fridge because you're going to hear my voice and you're going to be like, dang, I shouldn't be throwing away this bag of spinach. But again, going back to shopping less and meal planning, it is making sure that you are using up what you have on hand before you think about going to the grocery store. Is it so great that the grocery store is so convenient and we can literally just go buy whatever we need at any point? But it's also our biggest downfall when it comes to overspending because we don't think about using up the produce items that are about to go bad. We want to go buy more. And this is my term, I call it shop the shelf. But you need to focus on shopping the shelf before you shop the grocery store. And that's
Mm.
going to help you decrease food waste because you're using up those items. Another thing that is really, really helpful when it comes to trying to decrease food waste is having a second freezer if you have the space for it. Because the second a produce item is about to go bad, don't let it go bad. Throw it in a Ziploc bag and put it in the freezer. There are
Mm.
so many things that you can freeze that really help you stay out of the grocery store for longer and help you have those fresh produce items. And frozen produce is the exact same nutritional content, if not sometimes better, because you can freeze it at peak ripeness than just normal produce as well.
Okay. I'm thinking, oh, I can do this. And as I do
Mhm,
that,
mhm.
I'm gonna go back to the initial kind of confession I had to you that my method was to just keep trying different stores to see if that saves me money. And
Yeah.
I do think though there's got to be some stores that are better than others in terms of
Mhm.
doing your twice monthly grocery run. So, what in your experience have been the go-to stores that most people will likely have access to?
Okay, so we have students globally, and
Got
every
it.
area of the world has different grocery
Mhm.
stores.
Mhm.
But this is what I will say. Whatever grocery store near you offers online ordering with a pickup option or delivery option, that is the store I would head to first. That's going
Okay.
to be your best option. And every store is different. Every area is different. In my hometown, we have a lot of different options, but I enjoy Sam's Club because they let me order online and pick up outside. And then I also do a Walmart delivery order twice a month because I can do it online. So any store that's gonna offer that is going to be the best option.
Are there any stores that you would advise avoiding? I mean, that might still depend on people's budgets, but the ones that you
Right.
can, I'm just thinking about my Costco trip this week, so that's why I'm like, "Oh."
Yeah, I know I'm gonna get some hate for this, but Costco is a really dangerous place. People think that they're saving money when they shop at Costco, and then they come into my world and I say, "Okay, I want you to price match what you're purchasing at Costco versus what you would purchase at like a local grocery store or Walmart or whatever." And they're astonished at how much more they could save just by switching where they're shopping.
'Kay.
The dangerous thing about Costco is well, there's a lot of things that a lot of beef that I have with Costco. They're not gonna sponsor me anytime soon, but but they don't offer the generic option in a lot of items, right? You're having to purchase the name brand. And there's no hate for name brand, it just ends up being more expensive. And then the other big thing is you have no idea how much you're spending until you get to the checkout. And how many times do we just go to Costco and it's so fun? We get to do taste testers and there's new items we want to try. And then we get up to the front and you check out and you're spending $500. And, for some people that might not be a burden, but for most, that is a huge budget buster. So it again, it takes out the intentionality. They want you to spend as much possible in their store, and you have no way of tracking how much you're spending. But if you did it online, if they offered like an online ordering, I don't think I would have as much of a beef with Costco. But because of that, I think you will just do better if you shopped where you could shop online.
Well, I know you can do it through Instacart, but in my experience, like, most items are priced a dollar more an item.
Yes, Instacart is really expensive, yeah.
Mhm, really expensive. So I didn't even know Sam's Club. See, I just thought they were comparable, Sam's Club and Costco. I thought they were, like, the same, but they're not. Okay, so I should check out a Sam's Club.
Yeah. Sam's Club, each item tends to be a little bit cheaper. So, like a dollar, $2 cheaper, which isn't a big deal if you're going to get one item, but if you're getting 50 items, that's a big chunk. And then Sam's Club does offer online ordering, or if you shop in store, they offer scan and go. So, on your phone, you scan the item and it'll pull up your subtotal. Like you can see how much you're spending. So, I love
Wow,
that tool.
that's really
I
great.
know, it's great. Yeah.
Okay, and so just on a typical month for you, do you just alternate those 2 stores for you, and in one store, you might be getting more, like, canned kinda goods or, things like that, like at the bulk store, and otherwise just more of a normal kind of grocery run that people might think about? Or is that just all intuitive and based on need and all that?
Yeah, so the way that I do it is every 2 weeks I meal plan. I order my groceries. I do both a Walmart and a Sam's Club. Walmart, I get delivered. Sam's Club, I go pick up. But then as I'm ordering, I can price match between the 2 stores. So,
Oh,
sometimes there's quite a bit cheaper item at Walmart and I'll make sure that I'm getting the best deal. Then I order online. I get my groceries delivered or pick it up and then I'm set for 2 weeks. But I do that every 2 weeks from both stores. And I don't think shopping at 5 different grocery stores is the answer to saving money,
'kay.
but I do think it is great to shop from 2 different stores because, stores offer deals on certain items like Costco and Sam's Club. You can get your meat a lot cheaper. So I really like to purchase my meat, my dairy, my produce, those kinds of things from Sam's Club.
'Kay. I'm gonna be checking out Sam's Club after this. And price matching, I think, can be confusing for us. Do you find like it's just to do it more on the cent per ounce or pound or however they do
The
it?
price per ounce. Yeah.
Yeah, price per ounce.
Yeah, and that's another thing about Costco that can be tricky is you think you're saving money by purchasing in bulk, but then when you price it out, the price per ounce, sometimes it's not cheaper that way.
Yeah.
And if, not everybody has massive families. Sometimes you don't even need the 8 avocados that Costco gives you when you purchase produce. So again, Costco tends to have a lot of food waste if you're not using up those perishable items. So then that's when I would shop at that local grocery store and get your produce items from there.
Okay. And cost per ounce. That's what we're going to
Yes.
be paying attention to. I feel like reading between the lines, I can see why this matters. And I think it's hard to talk about grocery shopping without getting really into this kind of fear and scarcity mindset almost about things.
Mhm, mhm,
And
mhm.
so maybe you can end with a high note for us and tell us more about the benefits of this and how it can lead to more abundance in many areas of your lives. Like why should they be considering this at least and trying to move the needle a bit more?
Sure. It's actually really funny that you say that because I am in the budgeting space and I recognize that, but sometimes I hate being here because of the scarcity mindset that comes from it. I really want people to just, again, going back to that intentionality, it's not about scarcity. It's just about being intentional.
Hmm?
And you get to decide where you want to spend your money. And I am never going to tell you what your priorities should be. I'm not going to tell
Yeah.
you what store you should shop at, what items you should purchase. That's not on me. That's on you. And so beyond that, once we get to, that mindset, the money savings that can be had with this are mind blowing, right? I had a student who messaged me a couple weeks ago. She's been in the Shop Society for 5 months and she saved $5,000 in 5 months. So
Um,
huge
mhm.
money savings. And that can unlock so much financially. I mean, if you invested $1,000 every single month, for the next 10 years, imagine where that would put you. But beyond the money savings, and that's the really kind of sexy part of what I do is the money savings. But beyond that, I want to help moms feel like meal planning is easier, dinner time is easier. It's a part of mom life that people hate. Nobody wants to cook dinner every night. It's just a drag. So I really believe that when we implement the shop method and you use the things that I do, it makes your life so much easier. You're saving so much time. And this is no longer something that's a burden anymore. So you're saving all this money, but you also get all these other benefits as well. And that's what I love. When moms come to me and say, I finally am not dreading 5 p.m. every night because
Mm.
I have a dinner plan. I know what I'm doing and I feel my kids are gonna eat the meals that I cook, and it's just this all around just a better experience.
Oh, I love hearing that. Rachel, you have been so abundant about what you have given us today and all this information. It's just so generous of you. So thank you for over delivering on all these practical tips. I would love to direct people to your membership, the Shop Society, where you teach the shop method. Is there anything you want them to know about your membership?
I mean, there's so much that we offer in the Shop Society beyond the shop method. There's a ton of resources. It's an awesome community. Um, and it's really, really affordable. I really want it to be tangible for all families. So that is available. But if you're like a little bit hesitant about that, I do offer a lot of other free guides and things that you can get started with as well. And we can link those in the show notes for your listeners as well. Again, following me on Instagram will probably help as well. So you can always come find me on my social media channels, reach out, let me know if you have any questions. I'm here to help anyone
Yeah.
and everyone who wants it.
Hmm. And tell us about your podcast as well, since they're podcast listeners.
Whoa. Okay. So by the time this podcast release, hopefully my podcast will be released. And it'll just be called the Hey Rachel Coons podcast. I'm so excited. Something that I've been looking forward to for a long time. And we're finally making it happen.
Okay, and what can they expect in this new podcast?
So, yeah, so the podcast is going to be obviously, I'm all about saving money on groceries, but it's going to be all things when it comes to motherhood and abundance and those kinds of things. So, yeah, we're definitely going to have some tangible episodes that can help you save money on groceries, but we're going to do the whole gamut when it comes to motherhood and what I've experienced and how I can bring other people in, other experts in as well. We'll do solo episodes and guest episodes. And Monica, we're going to do an episode together too, which I'm really excited about.
Oh, I can't wait. It's going to be so great. Well, I'm looking forward to that launch. I'll be one of your first subscribers to your new show. And I am so grateful again for all the time that you took today. We will link to everything in the show notes for them. Thank you so much, Rachel. I appreciate your time.
Thanks, Monica.
All right. I feel like I never know how to end. I hope this episode gave you the hug and kick in the pants you need to grow. I'll now share the progress pointers. These are the notes I took so you don't have to, and those of my newsletter get them in a graphic form each week. You can sign up at aboutprogress.com/newsletter, and the progress pointers I will share here will be a simplified version of what's in that graphic form. Number 1, shop less often. Consider bi-weekly grocery trips. Number 2, create an essentials list of your items that must always be in stock. Number 3, simplify meal planning. You only need about 10 go-to meals. And number 4, be strategic with snacks and produce. And number 5, shop the shelf first. Your Do Something challenge this week is to check out the Money Moms Club via a free class that Rachel has for it. The original membership that she had was called the Shop Society, but now it's the Money Moms Club. And it's not just about grocery savings. It's about how to become the CFO of your family, how to start investing, how to budget better, and other ways that you can put money back into your family's bank account. That class will tell you more about how to save money on groceries, but it also includes an affiliate link to the Money Moms Club, which I'm a part of and have been such a big fan of. And again, watch for the guide that should be out by now, but if not, regardless, if you are on the newsletter or on my Instagram, you'll see that free guide where it's a lot of these tips combined with the ones that have worked really well for me. And it also includes our go-to meals, including what we do for breakfast, lunches, snacks, dinners, and examples of meal plannings that we do, and what's on our essentials list, and so much more. So again, stay tuned by being on my Instagram and on my newsletter. This podcast is listener supported. Members of the Supporters Club make my work with About Progress free and available to all. They also get access to 3 levels of exclusive benefits from more time to more content with me, including my private premium, always ad-free podcast, More Personal, where I get to lean into the personal side of personal development. Check out becoming a supporter by going to aboutprogress.com/support. Thank you so much for listening. Now go and do something with what you learned today.
So
When you say
that essentials list is going.
Oh, sorry. I'll cut out my interruption there. How about you finish your thought?